Agree or disagree, but anyway, we'll talk about that very, very shortly. Think of Wiltshire companies, and is your first thought tractors or ties and suits? Away from the Norm is a magazine which looks to change our perception of what the county's business landscape looks like. This week saw them launch an online version of their publication. It began life early this year as a traditional paper edition and delivered to thousands of companies across the county. But the creators decided to go digital to make less of an impact on the environment and make sure they were interactive. Earlier, I was joined by the digital channel manager, Jamie Bellinger, and managing director, Alex Williams, who told me the thinking behind this new initiative.
We wanted to move away from a traditional magazine format and create something that people could really enjoy. Not necessarily having to be involved in business, but also the general public as well. We found that too often business magazines in the area were more advertising than they were content. And then the content itself wasn't particularly enticing for a general audience. So we really wanted to change that kind of format. We spoke earlier in the year with Michelle Donnellan and Duncan Hames, who were running for the constituency Chippenham. And the perception was in Westminster that Wiltshire was very an agriculturally based society. And we thought that was completely wrong. You know, we've spoken to companies on the cutting edge of technology, and we really wanted to portray this. We wanted to get this out there and make sure that people know that Wiltshire is a fantastic place to do business.
I mean, why do you think that is? Why do you think people have got this view that it is primarily an agricultural economy?
Yeah, I don't know. I suppose the county is sort of stereotyped that way. But yeah, we're really keen to show that there's a lot more on offer here. Businesses across the county do all sorts of really interesting things.
Yeah, we've spoken to a company called CISIS in Chippenham, and they're working with the European Space Agency on the next Mars rover. Interviewing them with the prototype of the Mars rover next to us was fascinating. Another company called Dymag as well, who used to produce F1 wheels for Nigel Mansell and Ayrton Senna, and are back on the rise here in Wiltshire. So there are some fantastic companies out there and some great startups as well. But we felt that the message wasn't clear. People didn't know about this. So that's what we really wanted to push.
I wonder with I mean, other than Swindon, obviously, the rural nature of companies, if you do set up in somewhere a bit further afield, I mean, are there challenges for businesses operating? I'm thinking about the internet, really, because that's key, isn't it, these days? If you've got a poor internet connection.
Well, definitely. Well, the digital base in Wiltshire is actually growing considerably. There are people setting up businesses. Fortunately, nowadays, it doesn't matter where you work or where you live. You can set a business from your house, especially on the internet. And there are businesses that are breaking this challenge. They don't necessarily have to set up an office. They can work in their study, and create a great digital business that helps out all sorts of companies. I've
often suggested that to the boss, but he won't wear it because it is theoretically possible to do this radio show from my house. But he's having none of it. I just wonder though, just to talk about the whole issue, and I know that there are some gripes on this score, and not just in rural areas, but obviously the internet speed. You guys are running a website. I mean, is that something that you've heard about? People's concerns about the state of the internet, about how fast or otherwise it is?
Yeah, I mean, there are concerns out there for local businesses because the connection isn't always as good as it could be around here. So, yeah, we really want to, by using digital ourselves, really show the local businesses that it's a viable option. And it's not just a viable option, it's a good option. And it can really be used to show what they've got on offer.
Now, it's interesting because you are in magazine form, but you've launched the website. And this is the trend, isn't it, really, that we're told that the future of magazines and publishing, well, people are still buying magazines, but not as much. I mean, what sort of web traffic are you envisaging actually getting to your site?
Well,
Tricky
the magazine,
question, I know.
That's a tough one. Yeah, we found the magazine did really well in print form, so we're hoping that people continue to read who read the printed magazine, which, as Alex says, went out to around 3,000 businesses in Wiltshire. So we hope those readers will stay with us and continue to enjoy the content online. And through digital, we'll pick up a whole new audience who weren't there before.
It's often said that it is harder to make money from digital because the chances are with a magazine, I don't know whether, did people have to pay for your magazine or was it free?
No, it was free.
It was free initially,
yeah. Free, okay. But it would have paid for itself, I'm guessing, through advertising.
Advertising, yeah, that's right.
Are those advertisers as convinced by putting adverts on a website as they are actually seeing it in hard copy?
I think surprisingly more so. They're more
Really?
convinced by having online, because then you can provide them with real metrics of how the website's performing. With a magazine, you go out there and you deliver it 3,000 copies, but they're not really sure who that's getting in front of. With a website, you can really track the people that are visiting your website, and you can provide these metrics to the advertisers themselves and say, look, we're reaching this kind of demographic, we're reaching this many people, and if you advertise with us, this is who we'll be able to show your advert to.
We found in print, you could show people how many people had seen their advert. Now we can show them how many people are clicking on that advert, who those people are, where they're going, what they're doing. So it's much more powerful, we think.
And it's a bit of a contentious issue, isn't it, really? Because we're talking here, I think, about the whole business of cookies and that little thing that comes up now.
Yeah.
And I'm not suggesting that you're part of this. This is part of the I'm spying on people's computers. But this is the whole business of businesses really needing to know who's looking at their website for advertisers to pay for the content.
Yeah.
But yet there is the issue of privacy. I mean, I guess it's a bit of a trade-off. But is it that precise? Do you know, for instance, if I was to click on it, would you know whether I was on the socio-economic groups, ABC1, how old I was, or anything like that?
It's not that invasive.
It's not that invasive.
It's not that invasive. We see broadly where people are from, so we know if readers are in Wiltshire, which is helpful, but it's not as invasive as how old you are, what your favourite drink is.
No, we definitely want to stay away from that.
This is a new side to your business. From the businesses you talk to, in the times that we are in, how tough is it to be a small business, to be a startup at the end of 2015?
Well, it was certainly a lot harder a few years ago. I think there was
because of the financial crash.
Definitely, yeah. There was a huge drop off. I mean, you can see in Swindon, mass offices were just vacated, and unfortunately, there are still a lot of empty offices out there. However, with the advent of more digital kind of media, it is becoming a lot easier for these companies to start up, and people are finding that they're buying more products. The economy is getting better. So, whilst it is still very tough to set up a business, and with so many businesses out there, you've really got to be very unique in what you do. But it is definitely, we're seeing, becoming a bit easier for you to be able to start. If you've got a great idea, then people are really going for it and hopefully making a lot of money out of it.
That's Jamie Bellinger and Alex Williams from Away From The Norm. And if you want to have a look at what they're all about on the web, you'll find them at awayfromthenorm.co.uk. That's awayfromthenorm.co.uk.